I think that the value, as I mentioned before, I like the idea of connecting the dots because then a bigger image comes out of it, and we can see with more clarity. So I guess the intersection of this two domains of knowledge, it's a match made in heaven, if we can say like that, because it highlights the fill the gaps that sometimes are not visible with a more unidimensional approach. So projects like that had this added value of showing us how much a corporation can reach much further. You know, we can have like a much more tailor-made approach, and especially with this highlighting of connecting dots, and sometimes you don't see the big picture, and especially when we were talking about design, right? That's the part of the intervention that emerges when you connected both domains of knowledge, and this is amazing in the sense that an open-mindedness with a purpose, it's a powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. I guess that's the one of the main values that we can see in projects like that.
So I can say I'm not artist. My mother, she's artist, but I'm very interested in the relation between the anthropology in thinking about art as a form of human expression. It's not my object of study, art, but I'm very interested as a method to exploring and the better understand human societies, not to discuss the conceptual or theoric arts. So it's formed to expression such as music, poetry, photography, theater, dance, performance, collage. So I always work and I think can serve as means for women to explore then all personal resources, contribute to mobilize behaviors and subversion in the face of discourses of discrimination, for example. And I think the use of arts when combined with anthropology allows us to investigate new ways of produce like anti-racism, anti-capitalism, anti-colonial in social science. So my research is to understand how arts can be used and practiced for empowerment and resilience for women facing like oppressive contexts, for example. So I think it's a very powerful connection between art and anthropology.
I'm not the only one who's an anthropologist working in arts. I know more few people that have theater companies or are directors or are actors. And it's really interesting because we create a deeply dramaturgies in our works. We have other kind of sensitive. I'm not saying that the other artists don't have that, but applying our science to the arts, because the dramaturgy, the plays, or the theater creations, more on this part, are very near of the writing of anthropology method. I feel that on my work. When I'm writing a play or when I'm writing an article, I feel that the conscious to write from a subject, it is very similar. And what I feel it is when an anthropologist is on this work, is have a different sensitive, and I really like it. Like maybe Joana Craveiro in Portugal make that very well, and she's an anthropologist too, and they have a nice work in theatre, and I really love it. And these days, my it's different from the other works I made, but now I feel that our work could help to not repeat some mistakes that we repeated before. Today's political in Europe, in United States, and all around the world, it's again very polarized and very dramatic and very complex. And I think if we have in schools, in society, in different organizations, we can make this diplomacy and create other point of view with more compassion, with more open-minded. It's not happening anymore in Europe. We are seeing what is happening with politicals here in Portugal and Europe too. And I think the great difference could be that even in schools, I know there are some anthropologists that start to work in some schools, in problematic schools too, and the impact of their work, it was very cool, and the students start to be more with more compassion with others, with the immigrants and everyone else from different ethnies or different religions or whatever. And I think we can make the difference there.
First, I think to understand the complexity of the diversity of the human experience. So I was in different cultures, work with women in different contexts. I think when we have these eyes, when we receive this orientation from anthropology, I think we can help us to promote as well more mutual respect from the difference, offer more constructive critical of our society. I think can support how to building strategy to promote more social justice. I think anthropology can help as well to provide practice tools for solving real problems. Yeah, it's how I see.
Well, I guess it's well known that we are living in an empathy crisis, right? So I guess, and we all remember like the scandal of Cambridge Analytics and how much damage can be done when people are manipulated through social media and the virtual environment. I guess it become more visible. Manipulation always existed in our history, but it's so much more powerful nowadays. So I guess anthropology is exactly in the front line of connecting these dots and keeping it real and remembering that every problem it's a human problem. That every social problem that are created through this is a human problem, and the more we can communicate with more clarity and exercising the otherness, now we can tackle this problem. So the value for that it's essential. It's never been more important than it is nowadays.